go back to your walk, and in your transition, find more your shoulder forward position. So what did you do with your left seat bone, left leg, on those voltes and that good shoulder in? Now push off of your right leg rather than your right shoulder. There, now try. Keep a little bead on not pulling your left hand back. Try and push your left hand, shorten your rein. I don't like the way you ride with really high hands and long reins. To me, shorten the reins and put the left hand into the base of the neck. Manipulate the angle of his jaw by lifting the edge of the bit with your finger pressure. That implies a straighter wrist around your whip. There, now. Bring him back to the sitting trot and collect him more with your leg pressure. Ask him to come up. So that's your hands pulling back. That's it. Now back to the posting trot. So when you're collecting, you're lifting the contact and you're leaning harder on the right side. You've gone on your right shoulder again. Try and go to your sitting trot transition, closing your left leg and angling your seat. Now push back on your right leg. Ask him to come up more. Push back on your right leg from the knee. Get off your block. Now close your left leg. Ask him to come up. Up, up, up off the ground on your leg pressure. So your leg is dangling, your left leg, and not thinking about the rhythm vertically of the gait. Lift your back, take a deep breath, close your left leg. Now push back on your right leg. Close your left leg again. Work with your leg. Now you've just tilted right again. There's your haunches in moment. Sit left. You're on the right side of the saddle again. Sit left. You're on the right side of the saddle again. Now close your left leg. Up. Up on the left leg. Now right leg goes back and fetches the right hind. Shut your fingers. Sit. Left. Left. That's it. Now right leg again. That's where you need to go, and back to the posting. Don't try and keep it. Put your hands down. Now adjust your reins shorter. Get your elbows out of your lap. Adjust your reins. Yep, chest up. Now bottom down, left leg in, weight left. Right leg pushes up. Up, right leg back. Up, up. That's it. Now left leg in. Try to not let your hands come up because you're pulling on the impulsion. That's it. Good. And back to the walk. So your transition, walk on. Remember the medium walk, more idea. Your transition from posting trot to sitting trot is ineffectual because you're not actually making a vertical change, and that's your leg action that does that. Okay? Posting trot has an arc and is more horizontal. Sitting trot is more engaged and more vertical. Okay. And that's a bit what I'm seeing all along, is that your horse is too flat. He's underdeveloped to his stifle and his collection muscles because you're thinking that pulling his neck higher with your hands getting higher is collection. That's just pull set, and that has to be grafted onto that sitting trot. So in the posting trot, the neck is more out here, and the legs are coming into more horizontal, flatter engagement. When you sit, you bring the horse rounder, more up, and then you bring the pull here. So that just requires you thinking about it. If you're thinking about it on jumping terms, it's the difference between jumping a Liverpool and jumping a vertical. Yeah, it's the same idea. But every transition downward is a moment to sculpt, to graft that collection. The horse doesn't wake up and do it on its own. So you're getting over-engaged because when you start in your down transition, your hands are doing this on the neck prematurely, and he's just literally squatting behind. So then you lose your horizontal drive through. Okay, so that's all I'm trying to get you to understand is you've got a really nice visual, steady flow. You made the horse nice and supple, and really at both ends. That's really great. You're not sure about what your job is, and the difference between second and third level is massive. It's not just a flying change. So already for me, your second level trot is substandard. You're still actually doing your trot when you sit that is a posting trot training level. So the upgrade in second level isn't haunches in and the shoulder in and just blasting a little bit the medium canter. All right, it's the balance in the counter canter, and the reason why your balance in the counter canter isn't going to improve is that you don't have that connection on your bending lines that you're supposed to get at training in first level on your inside leg and seat bone, because that's what holds the counter canter and rounds it up. When you get that, you can go to your medium canter and collect easily with the horse active back to front in third level. So that's the fallacy of the tests, is they're pale shadows of the purpose of the training. Right? So you have to now think about the purpose of the training from the horse's perspective. So give a whirl to the right side and do a little shoulder in right at the walk, and do your timing, and then do your trot sequences.